おはようございます。ちょっと時間が空いてしまいましたが、今日のHoudini作業配信を始めていきたいと思います。仕事がだいぶ忙しくなってしまって、全然気持ち的に仕事以外のことをやる余裕がなくなってきていたんですが、それを言ってるとなんかずっとできなさそうだったので、ちょっと、少しだけ落ち着いたので、落ち着いたというか区切りがついたので、やっていこうかなと思います。で、今日は、前にもちょっとやったパイロソルバーを、パイロのシミュレーションを使った侵食していく感じのやつですね。また、ニックさんがいい感じのを上げていたので、ちょっとやっていきたいと思います。バージョンはHoudiniの19です。新しいチュートリアルは基本19でやっていく予定です。で、事前にアセットのダウンロードが必要なんですが、この VCL ヒューマンフェムアみたいな .stl ファイルが、この名前で検索するとアセットのダウンロードできるページが見つかるはずなので、そこからちょっと落としてきました。はい、では始めます。
First of all, I downloaded this bone, VCL human femur from my mini factory, I think. Let me remove the grains for now, and I will just show you where and what it is. So,
結構傷んで、ちょっとちゃんと手が動くか不安ですが。
obviously this bone is too huge, so I dropped the mesh size, target size set to 5 here. So yeah, made it a lot smaller, and then I rotated it and then reversed the mesh and added the normals. Actually,
そんなでかかったのこれ。でかっ。でかかったんだ。マッチサイズほんと便利だな。スケール合わせて。
I rotated it and then reversed the mesh a lot smaller, and then I rotated it and and then reverse the mesh and edit the normals. Actually, we don't need UV project, we can just go with UV quick shade and attribute delete. So UV quick shade, and edit the normals. Actually, I rotated it and then reverse.
Y を回転させてるのかこれ。形を見るにこうしてる気がする。全部合わせといた方がいいかな。で、マウスかけて、UV クイックシールド。
Reverse the mesh and edit the normals. Actually, yeah, you don't need UV project, we can just go with UV quick shade and attribute delete. So UV quick shade needed to
これなんで3なんだ？適当？
actually apply any sort of like material in Redshift, and then I deleted all the attributes. In this case, it was this shop material pass, which was from UV quick shade, and somehow Redshift was messing with that, so yeah, just deleted that. Here in the attribute delete node in primitive attributes shop material pass. Here you're specifying that and it's deleted. Yeah, that's basically all that I did with a bone. And then we go, but you obviously will need to set up the grains first, but I just wanted to show you how to add the mesh just in case. So yeah, let's turn off the bone now and let's check our grains. What do we have here? let me show you again. We import our file. Let me set it to the frame 1. It's obviously too large, so we do the same mesh size 555. Then we do the same exact transform. Form because we want then our grains to appear on our bone. Then I want fairly even distribution of triangles, and I see there are some corrupted triangles here. Let's just like these things, and maybe this one too. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Oh, actually, yeah, this little thing here. So what we can do, let's drop a remesh now. I'm remeshing that. So what we can do, let's drop a remesh now. I'm remeshing that 3 times smoothing set to 0.2 and target size to 0.03. And now we have fairly kind of even distribution, but we still have these.
ミスト。毎度のことながらリメッシュ重いな。
these little pins here, and yeah, I think this one actually is broken, so I needed to drop a VDB from polygons and voxel size set to 0.015, and then I just converted it back to polygons, dropping convert VDB and setting up, and then I just converted it back to polygons, dropping convert VDB and setting up convert to polygons. And now I have correct mesh without any sort of broken stuff. And then I drop a remesh again to make it a bit denser. But you know what? The density of the mesh actually influences the Pyro spread speed. So in this tutorial I will be showing you the parameters for the mesh that is kind of like this dense. If you will have less dense mesh, obviously Pyro will spread faster. So then what we need to do is to scatter just like a few points from the mesh that we remeshed, and then I added the spheres. So the from the is to scatter just like a few points from the mesh that we remeshed, and then I added the spheres, set the primitive type to be polygon, uniform scale to 0.2 and frequency to 5, and then I added a mountain node to just displace it a bit. And then we drop a copy to points, and mountain node goes to the first input and scatter node goes to the second input. And if you did everything correct, you will see a few displaced spheres that are scattered on our mesh. So if I preview my remeshed bone, you will see that they are kind of on the surface. And And then what we can do is drop a group node, and in the first input we drop our remesh node, and in the second
腹が痛いな。
input we drop our copy to points, and group type should be set to points, group name just group 1, and keep in bounding regions should be enabled, so checkbox here in the enable, and bounding box is set to be bounding object. And what it does, it creates a group of points where our spheres intersect with the bone, and these will be the groups from where we will be starting our burning. So then let's configure the Pyro. We drop an attribute create, and we create a temperature attribute. It should be value set to 1, name temperature, and it should be only for the group 1. So if I go and drop then Pyro, so only for the group 1.
それ合ってるよな。テンパチャーの綴りは合ってるか。トリエイトでん来てる。
So if I go and drop then Pyrosource spread node, and I visualize that, and here you can see in visualize we can select temperature. You can see that these parts that are our group 1 and to these parts we actually set the temperature. These are visualized here with a bigger temperature. So you can play with these settings here in the Pyrosource spread node, but basically in temperature change
フレームレート0なんだ。
cooling rate is set to 0, diffusion rate is set to 0.05, search radius set to 0.1, max neighbor set to 25, noise type set to periodic Perlin flow, element size set to 0.1, fractal octave set to 7.7, linearity set to 2.713, and roughness set to 0.529. And this gives me pretty quick but noisy and kind of like organic growth. Oh, and also in fuel, noise type set to periodic Perlin, pulse duration set to 1.1. and element size 0.05. In fractal max octave set to 7.07, linearity set to 2.28. And set to 0.393. Let's preview what we have here. Exactly around 300 frames to fill it up. You can cache it out, or maybe you don't want to cache it out, so there's not a big deal. Now I want to blur the temperature bits. So we go and after our file cache or after our Pyrosource spread, drop an attribute blur, set the attributes to be temperature, blurring iterations 5, step size 0.579. We should blur the temperature diffusion just a bit. So now I want to remap the temperature so I can use it for let's say p scale and scale our grains here. So in our attribute remap, and basically let's go with this one, with this setup, because this is just smaller part. particles, and this one is for bigger grains and yeah, obviously particles. But for that
大きいのと小さいの作ろうとしてるのか。
get remaps. So original name is temperature, new name is p scale, so we are remapping temperature to mp scale. And note that I'm not using p scale, I'm using m_p scale or any other variable that you will then modify and assign to p scale. And in this case we are remapping from 0 and 1 to 0 to 0.007, and interpolation, I think it's all default here. And actually we can remove these groups because it was like when I was experimenting with this setup. So now let's go to the popnet and set up our grains. So here in source, we obviously don't need this row, but yeah, we just dropped the pop solver, pop network, and here we have our pop solver, and just few notes here. We start with the source first input, which will be default when you drop a popnet, and source emission type set to points, geometry source set to use first context geometry, burst is set to constant burst rate is set to 3000. You can play with that because if you, let's say, set up a 10,000 here, you will see that they will clump together in like 2 or 3 layers of grains, but I wanted to more like an equal distribution without much layering of these grains. So for this one I'm using 3000 grains burn every frame. And now we drop a pop wrangle, we assign our MP scale to P scale, and then basically you can skip this part here, but I want to show you how to make it a bit more interesting. So what do we have here? So let me show you a few things in Vex. So this function run, basically it, as it says here, creates a random number between 0 and 1 from a seed. And seed should be different because if we, let's say, set 1 here, or I don't know, 0.05 or just something like that, it will produce exact same number each iteration the wrangle is executed, and it's executed for each point. So I think we want something that will be unique to each point. So let's say ptnum, or actually ptnum like this. Alright, so now we have a number from 0 to 1, which will be different for every point. We can set it for a p scale. So let's say p scale plus equals, and plus equals is equal to this. So basically p scale at p scale plus 2 is absolutely equal to this. So this means the same. So now we can do p scale plus equals rand at ptnum, and this will add to the p scale random number from 0 to 1. But then our grains will be huge and we don't want that, so we need to somehow remap this value from the random, which is 0 to 1, and then we are using fit01 function, so it takes the value in the range of 0 and 1 and shifts it to the corresponding value in a new range. So basically, if we type our random, which is anywhere from 0 and 1, then we can remap it to be from 0 to, let's say, 0.01. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. And if you want even more like organic and non-even distribution, so here I'm saying that if this point number divided by 5000 is, let's say, equally divided, or I actually don't know how to tell that in English, so let's say if we have 500 divided by 500 is 1, so but 500 divided by 472 maybe will be, I don't know, 1.80 something. So this is not like divided properly or something, and maybe someone in the comments can help me with properly explaining what it is. But basically, if the BT_num divides by 500, sorry, I add another random value anywhere from 0 to 0.3 to our p scale. That's how we will have like bigger grains and smaller grains, and sometimes we will have even bigger grains, like really big. And then we don't want our grains to actually fly away, because if I comment out this, you will see that they just fly away because we have no gravity. And here I want to say huge thanks to Doxia Studio, and I actually checked his tutorial a while ago with this infection system, but he used a solver to create the spread, and I just updated it a bit with my Pyro spread and a bit more grain logic here. But this is really cool and crucial thing here. So we don't want any velocity, so at v equals 0, and that's how they actually will stay. You will see now they will stay in place. So then we go into the pop solver. I updated min substeps to be 2 and max substeps to be 3, added a merge, added a static object, which is our grains bone remesh. So they collide with it, and yeah, gravity will be here by default, and I think that's actually it. So I cached a few versions here, so this one going like this, and actually, yeah, we need
マジか。これビジュアライズ変えただけでキャッシュ消えた。
Need to remove the visualization of the temperature, so it should be like this. And then you can add color nodes. So here I added a color node and set the color type to be rem from attribute. An attribute is p scale, so the bigger the particle, the yellower it will be. So that's basically it. So I also have the green version, and also I have another pop.
グレーをセットアップは適当でいいのか。
Net where your brains bone 3 added a merge solver will stay in place. So then we go into the pop solver. I updated min substeps to be 2 and max substeps to be 3, added a merge, added a static object which is our grains bone remesh, so they collide with it. And yeah, gravity will be here by default, and I think that's actually it. So I cached a few versions here. So this one going like this, and actually yeah, we need to remove the visualization of the temperature, so it should be like this. And then you can add color nodes. So here I added a color node and set the color type to be rem from attribute. An attribute is p scale, so the bigger the particle, the yellower it will be. So that's basically it. So I also have the green version, and also I have another popnet where we have, let me show you like that. So we have 8,000 particles burn, and then in pop wrangle I added a bit more.
キャッシュ結構時間かかるな。 時間かかるかな。スケールねえと、どこだ。そうできないんだ。これ出てきてね。
So I also have the green version, and also I have an opening where we have, let me show you like that. So we have 8,000 particles burned, and then in Pop Wrangle I added a bit more, these extra large particles here in the PT number. Divided by 300. P scale is also set to be less, and it results in a bit more dense and smaller grains here, and in comparison
してなかったぞ。あれ、キャッシュどこに作られてたんだ。 場所変えちゃったか。ああ、そっか。キャッシュ消えたか。
with these. Then I added some lights. These are my RS lights here. And for the materials, set up two materials.
保存してなかったせいでキャッシュが吹っ飛んだな。最初で何で出すんだっけ。
So one is, I think this one, yeah, is some sort of roughness material.カラーにアブソルトかけるでやるのかな。テクスチャーサンプル。
に突っ込んで。突っ込む。
Lights here, and for the materials, set up two materials. So one is I think
適当に使えそうなラフネスないかな。
this one, yeah, is some sort of roughness material, roughness texture, and yeah, just color for the bone. This is redshift material too, and goes for the bone. And here, particle.
それでいたっけ。アドビューとか。
Attribute lookup, attribute name CD, so we are grabbing the look of our particles, of our grains, and grabbing the color of our grains to be precise, feed it into the diffuse, adjust the roughness a bit. Precise, feed it into the diffuse, adjust the roughness a bit, and that's it. For the actual red,
こいつに。こっちがパーティクルだから。こっち。
Redshift, just take this render object as particles.
そのパーティクルのセット。
That's it. For the cameras, yeah, using two cameras, camera 1 and camera 3. I think I've used these two for the close-up shot and for the actual bone. Yeah. And let me fire up the redshift. So this is how it looks. As always, I'm rendering these on Fox Farm, and I actually rendered 3 passes because I rendered one kind of this full pass with this yellow and blue, and then I rendered one with the green, close up with the green, and I was like, alright, so I will need another one. Yeah, and this one was with the proper close up with these bluish things. So yeah, as always, Fox Render Farm super fast. You can see that 300 frames cost me $4, another 210 frames cost me $4, and another cost me actually like $3.78. Highly recommend this render farm, saved me a ton of time, and I think it's not that much to pay for like rendering something in 10 minutes when on my local PC it will be take, I don't know, day or even 2 days or something. So go check out these guys. My affiliate link is in the description. By signing in with my link, you will get some extra coupon credits that will help you test out this awesome farm. Alright guys, so I think that's it for today, and I really hope that it was useful and you learned how to create these infection systems. It's a lot easier with a Pyro spread in my opinion. And if you want to see more tutorials from me, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out the project files and my website, which is also linked in the description. You will find tons of useful stuff there, some asset packs, project files, and more. I'll be back very soon. Bye.
ドームライトだけ見てやると。 何でもやれないでしょ。めちゃめちゃでかいのが何個か。カメラが動いてね。よし。キャッシュ失敗してスプレッドは全然うまくいってねえな。まあいいや。はい。というわけで、一旦レンダリングまでできたので、まあ、今日もこんなところに。なんかあったかな。なんでここにフラグ立ってんだ。特にないか。トリノとリマップを使ったぐらいか。いつから出たんだろう。18からか。なんか、取り立てて、ここわかんねえみたいなとこはなかった気がするな。ちょっと久しぶりで、さすがに手が若干動きが遅かったですが、一旦レンダリングまでできました。はい、一旦今日はこんなところで配信終わります。ありがとうございました。